Jen, Andy, good afternoon. Nice to see you both.
Hello.
Hi Ian, hi Jen.
I thought I'd start with an introductory thing to each one of us. Who are you? Where do you come from? Your professional background, that kind of thing. Because this is an Actif4 team call, and we are the team. So me, Ian Gurley, I was a co-founder of Actif4 about 4 years ago. We were a business that's set up in coronavirus. We've only known COVID-19 times, so we didn't have to adapt to it. It was part of our world, and I guess still is. But that's shown the value of adaptability, I guess, over the last few years. I come from the world of financial services originally, but that's a very long time ago because for the last 25 years, I've been working around leadership and change. And it's an area that I love spending time in, simply because of the sheer diversity and range of people that you meet. And so that's me. I run another business, Initiate, and that's got a lot of time spent around change. And the reason I mention it is that I know each of us has our own businesses, and that's one of the great strengths of Actif4 is that we bring people from different perspectives and businesses into our mix. And I bring the Initiate mix into Actif4. So, Jen, Andy, over to you.
Okay, well, my name's Andy Shepherd. I've got sort of over 30 years experience and background in technology where I've held various leadership roles across startups and multinational companies. I've managed both local and international teams in various locations, mostly in the oil and gas industry, but across diverse industries as well, healthcare, financial services, consulting. I reckon during my operational leadership career, I developed a passion for coaching because I found that I was doing it all the time anyway, developing people. And that's what stoked my interest in, leadership development and coaching, and which shaped my transition into career as an executive coach. During my career, I've lived and worked in multiple countries, I think 5 at last count. Done a lot of traveling in that time as well. And I've gained experience in diverse cultural environments, which basically informs my coaching approach today. All that experience that I've built up in the diverse roles, diverse cultures, and diverse countries as well. I do have another business called HighQ Coaching, that specializes more in executive business and leadership development in the technology sector. And that's specifically tailored to technology professionals to help them unlock their true leadership potential. My work with Actif4, I think, supplements my work at HighQ Coaching quite nicely because Actif4 brings a more structured leadership development program to the coaching approach that I take at HighQ Coaching. So it brings that more structured leadership development program and a certified qualification at the end of it as well. So I think in combination, HighQ and then the structured approach of Actif4 works really well.
Thank you, Andy. Thanks very much. Jen, over to you.
So I'm Jen Jenkins. I'm a business psychologist, and I started my company, Executive Function, about 12 years ago. So I've been working as a business psychology consultant for the last 12 years. And I think that came about after working for about a similar length of time in the corporate world. So roles in commercial operations, learning and development, in the pharmaceutical and biotech industries. And I loved that time. I really enjoyed those career opportunities, traveled the world, worked with a lot of very talented colleagues in that time. But I kept harking back to my early days, which were in psychology and in academia. And I became much more interested in how to enable people to thrive. What was it that makes teams really successful? How is it this group of people can get through anything, no matter what's going on around them, they deliver results? And over time, I think I just became aware that if we understand a little bit more about how our brains work, then we can actually harness our full potential. And so that's what sort of drove me from that sort of academic background in psychology through that corporate experience into applying both of those two things together to really help individuals and teams understand a little bit more about how they can achieve their potential. So my passion really comes from empowering people to use insights from psychology and neuroscience that enable them to thrive. And over the last 12 years or so, I've really focused on sustainable leadership. So what is it we can do to give people the bandwidth to lead?
Thank you very much. And you mentioned the deeply psychological background to your career, and one of the great strengths you bring to Actif4 is the academic grounding that you've got. But I think there's something beyond that you bring, which is that you turn some fairly complex academic topics into a very understandable and clear thing for people who are not academics. And I've seen that with our delegates on our leadership program. I know you translate some fairly weighty topics very clearly, and that helps them a lot. Andy, similarly, you have a different background, but it's in the way you communicate the learning from it that I've seen something that is really engaging with people. People like being around both of you, and that's been something that I've heard from our delegates time and again in the last year or so, since I know you were heavily involved with the program that we did with one of our clients. In fact, this very morning I had a call with 5 of them, and you all got a strong and very positive mention. And the point is that I guess what I'm saying here, 5 of them were invited to a call they didn't have to have. It was way beyond our program. It was nothing more or less than a catch-up sometime down the line from when 5 of the 6 in this case had been on our program. 5 of them turned up and they wanted to hear more about how we're doing. You know, we've made some sort of a lasting impact with them, and I think that matters.